Happy Monday, as always. I'm super happy to be here together with Lorna. Lorna, how's your week going so far?
Really good, thank you. Put my Christmas tree up at the weekend, so I'm feeling very festive, actually.
You have a real Christmas tree, is
I
that
have a
right?
real Christmas tree. You
I feel
cannot
like that's...
cannot live in Scotland and not have a real Christmas tree. Actually,
I-
people will all be gunning for me now, but that's what I believe.
Yeah, no, I'm the same. I'm coming from the countryside in Sweden, and we always went out and got an actual Christmas tree. Like my
Yeah.
uncle has a lot of forest, so we actually went out in forest. We cut down an actual tree. We had to walk around for like half a day to pick the right tree, and like the whole year around, it was kind of like spotting for the Christmas tree. So yeah, it's very deep rooted in me as well. Yeah, it's not a real tree unless it's like an actual Christmas tree.
It's
But,
not Christmas until you come down the stairs and you can smell your Christmas tree in the morning.
Yeah.
But that's anchored in from my childhood, I think, because that's always what Christmas meant, when you could come downstairs and smell your trees.
I feel like this is a discussion, though. I feel like I have this discussion everywhere with everyone at the moment because everyone's like, I put up a Christmas tree. And the automatic question is like, well, is it a real one or is it a plastic one? Yeah, there's definitely two camps.
And there's nothing wrong with the plastic tree. It's whatever works for you.
I can see the benefits, like absolutely, because you know, you spend like to get a real tree, like it's a commitment. You have to actually like go out, look for one, go for a shop, find a good one that's going to stay alive for long enough that you get those different types, and then you have those with like a whole thing at the bottom, and then you got them without. Like it's you know, and then you have to get it home, then you have to put all the decoration, you have to let them stand for a while and dry, and it is a commitment.
Part of the fun, though, isn't it? But in saying that, I saw a really cool Instagram reel the other day, and this person had put their Christmas tree up the loft, and they pull it down the box, and they take it out of the box, and they cling filmed it all up. Took the cling film off, all the baubles, everything was already on the tree. So when they took it out of the box, ta-da!
Oh my god! Yeah,
it was quite cool. It was quite cool, but I'm not ready for that in my life just yet.
No, I can, yeah, I'm with you there. That said, I still need to go out and get mine, actually. I haven't even spotted a day. I need to put it in my agenda, I think, to make it happen, make it a priority. What is it that we always say? If you want something, if you really want to make it happen, you'll make it a priority. Yeah. Oh, well, on that note, if this is the first podcast episode that you're listening to, then make sure you hit the follow button. And if you've been around for a while and you want more mindset and performance tips and Christmas tree tips from me and Lorna, then make sure you sign up for our... that was a joke, by that. That was a joke. We don't email guys about Christmas trees, I promise. But if you want mindset and performance tips, you can sign up to our weekly hacks. That's mindic.eu/weekly hacks, and you'll find the link to that in the show notes. Right, Lorna. So digging into making things a priority, making things happen, even though it's not Christmas trees. But I hear a lot of people say it's obviously like, yeah, I want to make that all happen, you know, especially in the questions part. I want to make it all happen, but I don't have enough money to do it. And we had this, so a while back we put a question sticker on our Instagram, and we were like, what is it that you actually need in order to make your dreams happen? Like, what is the missing piece? And one person answered, and I think this is so spot on, because I think we all feel like this. And she was like, if I were to be able to make money grow on trees, I would be able to make my dreams happen. And I think we can all relate to that. Like it is an expensive sport. And yeah, I think we all wish we had a Christmas tree that were generating money. What do you think, Lorna?
I think that it's so true. It is an expensive sport, and we do need money to progress in it, whether it's through better training, whether it's through buying more tech, whether it's transport, whether it's whatever. You know, whether it's just haying your horses and feeding them, and the physio and the vet and the farrier, or just keeping them on the road. Like that is true. Quite often we have a lot of people that come on board and they talk about manifestation, about, you know, hoping that one day this might happen, or hoping that might happen. And like, I am all about manifesting, but I'm about manifesting with action. So I think the whole thing, the metaphor about making money grow on trees, I think if we could turn this or flip it into actually being about you, about being the person that believes that this is possible. You can already believe, you don't know how yet, but you believe that it's there, and you think and you feel and you act like this is going to be possible. Yeah, we don't quite know how yet. We don't quite know how we're going to make that extra money yet, but you and I both sing from the same hymn sheet here. This is very Christmassy. Sing.
I feel like this is going to be an episode where we are constantly like, you know, throwing in Christmas. Yeah, sorry about that. But once you get into that...
laughing at ourselves. But anyway, fires, singing from the same hymn sheet. I'll just say that 3 times because I think it's cool. That you need to believe that you can make something happen. You need to make it a priority to believe that this is going to work out. Do you agree or not agree?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And I think, this is obviously what people a lot of time refer to as a money mindset, your money
Yeah.
mindset. It's your beliefs around money, really. A lot of different beliefs. We have a belief system around this, but a lot of the time, to make a long story short, it comes a lot of the time from, the way we grew up, what kind of quote unquote class, if we were in middle class or if we were having a lot of money or little money, the setting that we grew up in, that has shaped us. How our parents talked about money, how if we had a lot of brand clothes when we went to school, or if and that shapes your beliefs, like around do you think money is hard to come by, or do you feel like it's just something that you get? And everyone has their own money story, as if we have our story around everything in life. And so we also do have a money story. And me, for example, if I, coming from a kind of middle class family, like we didn't have a little money, we also didn't have a lot of money. We were really like that typical middle class family. And for me, it always felt like, I looked at other people, especially in the equestrian sport, and I saw that they had way more. And, I had this pony, and I was really happy that I had a pony, but it wasn't a really good pony. And I didn't have time, like money to go to trainings or competitions. And I saw other people that could do all of those things, right? For me, for a long time, I believed that, I would never be able to compete at a high level or have all those stuff, because that simply wasn't for me. It was, the way, quote unquote, I was born. It was never going to be available to me. That was just my belief system. And by that belief system, I also believe that I would never be able to make a certain amount of money. Like I would always have this idea, like this is what I can make, and that's it, and that's fixed, and that's and as long as I make that kind of money, I won't be able to compete internationally or do all those things. Right? It took for me to start to believe that was out there, that was available for me, to even come up with the idea to start my own business and start doing things in which I could generate that kind of income for myself.
Yeah. 100% agree. And I also think in that's the rational part of it. The other side of it that sometimes I hear is our mind is always trying to protect us. Sometimes I think I don't have enough money, my horse is not good enough, whatever that is. It's also a protection mechanism that we hide behind a little bit because of fear. So it's almost that money tree thing. Sometimes I think about it as almost looking for permission to dream a bit bigger without that self-sabotage, without that fear being there, because I think subconsciously we run this program, don't have the right kit, like who am I to think I can do that, but like you're talking about, but that's the rational side of it. It's too expensive. And sometimes by manifesting this money tree, suddenly all your limiting beliefs would just disappear. But when fear is actually connected to that, there's a little bit of rewiring to do around that, I guess, because we can hide a little bit behind that. I'm not good enough. I don't have enough money. Everybody else is better than me. They have better kit, better trucks, better everything. But actually, if we really want something, and this is what it comes down to, yes, it is all limiting beliefs, but if you want something badly enough, there is a way to make this happen, for sure. Is it hard work? 100%. Like it's not a magic wand. You're not going to click your fingers and suddenly you're going to have all the money in the world. I think maybe just ask yourself the question there, or just check in with yourself. Is this possible? Like you say, you've worked hard at this and you've created the money you need to be able to do this from taking action. Or are you maybe just hiding behind this just a little bit?
Do you mean like you're like kind of almost using it as an excuse as to why you are not there? Like,
why you can't make it, or why you can't push yourself to do it, because if I had all this money, then I would dream bigger, and then I would go out there and I'd be at the freaking Olympics or WEG or whatever it is, and I'd be smashing the world. Yeah. But I can't, because I don't have enough money to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. You hide yourself behind that.
You're hiding yourself a little bit behind it.
Yeah. Yeah. That is so true. Eh? And I think we all have that story, that we hide ourselves behind, and actually we're just covering up our fear. But it's easier to feed ourselves that excuse that it's like, I'm not there, and I'm not going to, be able to do that because I'm not from a rich family, or that story that we hide ourselves behind can be different for anyone. But I 100% think that, the money is a big one. It's a big one.
It is a big one. It is a big one. But I think as well, our dreams often don't grow until we do. So in growing, we find ways, like you have, like I have. It's an expensive sport. We don't have anybody funding this. We fund this ourselves. And that's why we always say sometimes it stings, when things don't work out and you've invested time into it as well. It's not just money. But I think there is a few underlying beliefs that you kind of just need to pull out, or just unwind, or figure out just a little bit before it's not even that you're hiding behind it. Just check in, like ask yourself, is this true?
Is that really true?
Because if you had this money tree suddenly that appeared at the end of your garden, would you go and jump the 120 tomorrow? Would you go and jump the 130? Would you try and get on the tee? would you be jumping in the Grand Prix?
Yeah, so yeah, now I get. I wasn't following the first time you talked about that.
Sorry.
I was like, what are you talking about, money tree? Now I get it. So what you're saying is, imagine that you actually had this money tree.
You wake up tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
A bit like when Santa Claus comes down your chimney. You wake up tomorrow morning and Santa Claus has delivered the money tree at the end of your garden. It's everything you've ever wanted.
Is
You know,
it
you
fixed?
have an abundance. You have abundance of money, so you can buy anything that you freaking want. Would you go out the next day and jump that 130?
Yep.
Would you go out the next day and seek out some better training? Would you invest in a mindset coach? Would you do all this stuff to get to your goals? Or would it still be, yeah, but I don't have this. Yeah, but I don't have that resource. Yeah, but I'm not quite ready.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Since
That makes a lot of sense, and I think that makes a lot of sense, and I think that is a confronting question for a lot of us.
Of course,
because it's easy, and I think that's something that you could just ponder on for a bit. Like, let's say I were to actually have the money, what would I do then? Like, what would be different? Because I think also sometimes it's about, there's a saying of like, fake it until you make it kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm not saying I believe in that whole thing, but there is a certain thing to starting to act like you already had it before, and then because you start acting differently, your reality will change, right? So if you were to act as if you had the money and you would start to take, like, let's say you were to have that money tree, okay, what would you do differently? Well, what of those things can you actually start doing today already, pretending, like faking that you have that money? Okay, I'm conscious that you can't go out and buy yourself a freaking 145 horse if you don't have the money. I'm conscious of that, but what is it that you could start doing differently?
But I think that exactly what you're saying, use the resources you've got. So focus on who you're becoming rather than what you're lacking. So like you say, you can't go and buy yourself a 145 horse if you don't have the money. That's not what we're saying. That's stupid. But what you can do is go out and spend 5 or 6 on an average youngster, and you can produce it and make a really nice job of it and get it out and do some local shows, unaffiliated stuff. Then let's say, I know the market fluctuates before everybody jumps on us and being like, you can't sell horses. Then you sell that horse for, I don't know, 10, 12, 15 grand. Okay, so already you've made that pot. So then you buy yourself the next one and you produce that one, if it's possible, if you have the resources and if you can do that. But that focuses on who you're becoming. Okay, so is it the most direct route to get there? No. And some of us, if we don't have the money, we can't take the straight route to get there. That is fact. Like, we have to buy younger horses, lesser horses, produce them, whatever that looks like. But rather than focusing on everything you've not got, I don't have that horse that, that's going to get me in the Grand Prix. But what I am doing is I'm on a process, or as I talk about your roadmap,
Exactly.
like let's explore all these little avenues that could take you to where you actually want to go, rather than just, I can't do it, I don't have the money to succeed. Well, that's your identity. Okay, that's an insecurity. That's focused on everything that you lack, rather than everything and the skills and the information and everything that you're going to gain along the way to make you the best version of yourself, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Because as long as you feed yourself that excuse, you're also never going to take the action. You're never going to actually start working in it. And yes, it might take it. Like, if tomorrow you work out, okay, it's a new year and you're like, yeah, like, I'm going to, if you then start taking the action, I assure you that in a year from now, you'll be further than you were today. In 10 years from now, you can actually have achieved what you wanted to achieve, but only because you started taking the action, right? But as long as you sit there and you're saying, I can't make it happen because I don't have the money, then nothing is going to change. And I feel like it's better to then start doing a little action today.
Stop. You broke up.
Thanks. Am I still broken?
You need to rewind back a bit. No, you're okay now.
Okay.
Just like literally like 10 seconds, you broke up.
Oh man, I was in the middle of my rant, Lorna. How am I going to make... No, I'll try to make it short. It basically comes down to, you can either do nothing, you can feed yourself that excuse and you can do nothing, right? Or you can start to take a little action and start, like you say, to do a different behavior, start to behave like the person that would actually be able to make it happen. And you might be there in 10 years from now. It's not going to happen overnight, but like either you do nothing and you're definitely not going to get there, or you start taking a little action and you might get there in 10 years. Like, what thing do you want the most?
And then, like you say, action, but visualize what that destination looks like. Visualize that person. It's not a final outcome, but visualize the thing that you're trying to get to, and then step into you, the best version of you that's already on that path or in that map. Because if we wait for perfect, if we wait for that freaking money tree to appear at the end of the garden, perfect circumstances don't exist. They're never going to happen. So let's start with what we've got now and start with where we are now, because that is in our control.
Yeah, 100%. And that is a pretty cool thing to do as well. There's an exercise that we've done in some of our programs earlier. When you start from where you want to get to, like you visualize, you pretend you're in your dream. you pretend you've just achieved the goal, like you've just crossed the
Yeah.
finish line in badminton or whatever that looks like for you. And then you work yourself backwards. So it's like, okay, now if I'm, you really put yourself in that visualization. It's like, I am here and I've done it. How did I get there? And then you start journaling, and you write all the things down that you've done to get there. But it is like, it's similar, but it's completely different perspective. Rather than being where you are now and looking at all the things that you need to do to get there, you turn it around and you pretend as if you've already done it. And then you look back at all the actions that you've already taken.
So really, it's not about this money tree. It's about giving yourself permission to just start believing, start acting, start showing up like the person that is possible of achieving great things.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
the cool thing is you can choose that state right now, here, today, listening to this podcast. Like, it's starting off a new year. So choose now to start.
It's the best time. It's the best possible time. No, but it is. It is. It's to start a new you. Yeah, I couldn't have said it any better. And some people will be like, yeah, but here's the thing.
Yeah.
You can either find excuses why you can't do it, or you can find ways to make it happen. And, and sometimes I feel like people will be like, yeah, it's easy for you to say. But here's the thing. Sorry to swear, but I have been there. That came out frankly. But sometimes I feel like people are really like, yeah, but you are so lucky. You are so lucky. You can do that and you can this. And no, I've made it happen. Like, I've gone to university. I've got myself an education. I got myself a job. I have prioritized this above everything else in my life. And yes, I'm out there jumping 130s and 3-star eventing right now, but I have made it happen. No one handed me that money. I have made that happen. So if I can do it, so can you.
That is fact. Every excuse. And if you want something badly enough, we talk about this is an expensive sport. It is, but find ways to make more, to do more, it's not easy. Like, neither of us have been handed this on a plate. We've worked our arses off to get to where we are and to have enough money to afford this and all the rest of it. We're not sat there in abundance, just, grabbing money off that tree every single time we want to make an entry or go training or your horse needs shod or the physio or whatever. But by nature, we are doers and we will find a way to make this work.
Yeah.
Always.
And that is an attitude. And that is something that is in your control. Whichever point you're starting at, it's all attitude.
Yeah. We can always do more. We can always find another job. We can find those cheaper horses to produce and sell. There's always an opportunity. And there will be people, like you say, that are sat here saying, oh yeah, it's easy for you guys and I don't have any opportunities. That is your belief system. And until you change that belief system, you're going to, or subconsciously, you're going to be stuck in that same pattern. Like, nothing will change. I promise you. Until we interrupt this pattern and start changing it, and you start acting like the person that is capable of achieving all of this.
Yeah. Yeah. That's quite a pep talk for the new year.
Happy New Year!
Yeah. No, but I think sometimes we just need that kick under our bum and makes,
Do you know what? And we've said this before, we are not for everyone, but there's many of my clients, they actually message me afterwards and they say, thank you very much, because that is the kick up the bum that I needed. And yes, it's not for everyone, but if you do want to make progress, it's about having that person that can call you out essentially on your bullshit. Like, we're there for everyone. We understand, like, we go through rough times the same as everybody else, but sometimes you just need that shove or that push or that kick or that accountability or whatever it looks like to be, come on, you can do this. Like, it's possible. Let's try. We don't know unless we try. I think that's probably the best thing we can leave you with. We don't know unless we try. So why not jump on board and let's find out. Let's find out what we are capable of.
Yeah.
Might we fail, might we screw up? 100%. But if we sit here, we're making no progress.
And on that note, onward and upward. Yeah. Thank you so much, by the way, for listening to this podcast. I think we said it on the last episode as well, but we do appreciate you.
We are grateful. Absolutely. Very grateful.
Very grateful. It's with the utmost love that we're saying this because, we both, I think we speak for both of us, Lorna, that we both used to believe at one point in time that we weren't
100%.
going to be able to make it happen. But still, we're sitting here today and we've made it happen. So if we can do it, so can you. That's basically the message that we want to put out there today. As always, if you have any questions, do get in touch with us. That's Jocelyn Lillian in one word or Lorna Hogart _coaching. You'll find us on Instagram, or you can find our email address, all those things in the show notes. And as always, we're going to challenge you to start making strides in your mindset so you can truly make strides in your riding. And we'll see you on the next Magical Monday.